Hi everyone. So when you look at hotels versus restaurants and the two different industries and the differences in their strategic pricing, from what I found in the textbook, what I was really seeing for the restaurants, with the wine example, was that they kind of have the power to choose whatever price they kind of want to, and it's especially with wine specifically in this example, that's just kind of what people have to go with, right? So it's not everything is 100% based off the cost pricing, which is similar to the hotelier's perspective as well. But that's just kind of something that they're able to, kind of choose, and then guests will have to go with it. Versus the hotels, they are a little bit more flexible from what I found, again, in the textbook. It was kind of talking about different availability and timing. You want to try to fill rooms as it becomes later and someone needs to come in, like for right then and there. You have a little bit of room to move the pricing around. If it's not super busy, you can kind of lower prices, whereas if it is busier, like I said, just that flexibility with the different rooms and what you can do on a day-by-day basis with those prices is something that you have a little bit more room to mess around with. I also found an article from LinkedIn that was entitled "It's Time for Hotels to Take Restaurant Revenue Management Seriously." It was by Michael Butler, who is the managing director at Captivate Culinary Connections, and it just kind of talked about kind of merging the two a little bit more, and giving restaurants, especially restaurants within hotels, more of the analytics and data that goes into the revenue management aspect of it. A lot of it was just kind of talking about how they don't have access to all of this data, and it would be really helpful for them to have that. Not only that, but also the fact that hotels should be like looking more with their food and beverage departments and kind of looking at in-house guests versus walk-ins and other things like that to make sure that they get the most out of their the best prices out of their revenue management. Another thing that I was looking at when we were talking about the service levels and the concepts of desirability to pay and willingness to pay. Personally, I do think promotion is extremely important between all of those things, because I feel like guests have to know what they're going into, right? The hotel has to do a good job of explaining what they have to offer and all of these things. If people are going to stay at a luxury resort, they need to know that it's luxury, and they need to know, what they're getting into in regards to what they want. Do they want luxury? Do they want budget, mid-range? Their ability to pay, if they can't afford luxury, then they need to know that the hotel they're staying at is not luxury. The transparency there has to be very clear. And then their willingness to pay, right? Like, are they willing to pay for that higher end, for those higher end things? So it all really does come down to, like I said, transparency. I feel like that's a huge word on this question. I think that it's, like I said, definitely promotion is super important. You don't want guests to be blindsided in that aspect. And then lastly, in my opinion, I think a huge way to promote events, which is my area of emphasis, is definitely social media. I feel like more and more I'm seeing different Instagram reels and TikToks on, especially within West Virginia, on different places to go and visit and check out. Not only that, but different events that are going on. So I think that for the average and probably younger generation, that social media is going to be a huge way of promoting these different places and events, because people are just scrolling on their phones and they see these things and they're like, oh my gosh, wow, I want to attend something like that. So I definitely think that that is a huge effective way to promote these types of things and create value by showing the value that's been created for other people to the customers and to potential future customers and guests. So